Hi, and welcome to another episode of Deep Roots TV. Hey everybody, hope you all are doing well. I'm still working on this, so I hadn't forgotten about it. There's some things I need to do to it, but I went and cut it out so I could have it ready to do some things to it so we can have it ready for our next time we see each other. In the meantime, it'll be our mascot, Deep Roots. So, I wanted to update you on what's happened so far since our last episode. So, as you can see in the picture, I've got you the front and the back, or actually the front and the back of each one of these. And I wanted to tell you how I created them. I hope you watched my last video, and where I was talking about sometimes you make a mistake and you have to decide what to do with it. Well, what I've decided to do is, as you can see, I plugged those holes here, and on this one I plugged those holes with some of the same wood that we're going to be using for the bottoms and the top. The other thing that I've done since then is I did create an inside groove. Now this is called a stopped dado. And it's called a stop dado because it doesn't go all the way through. The reason I didn't take it all the way through here is because then you'd see it on the end. I was able to go all the way through on this piece, and that's because this piece butts up to this piece, and now if you look on the inside, you'll notice they come together. So now I've got myself a nice 90-degree angle in there. The other thing that I've done since we met last time is prepared the bottoms. And that slot that you just saw, the dado that you just saw that I created in there, that receives this piece of wood. So this goes in like this. Now, I've cut these a little bit narrow and a little bit short, but mainly a little bit narrow, because this is solid wood. It's not plywood. So it will expand and contract a little bit inside, and I don't want to push the sides of the cases out. So I've given it just a little bit of room for expansion and contraction so that when I glue it up, that will already be taken care of. I will not glue this piece in. I will leave it have room, but it will be tight enough it's not going anywhere. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about is how I created these. Now, all I did, and I think you saw a picture of that, but I've drilled 3 holes. I drilled the large one in the middle. This is so the big cords and the plugs can get in and out. Then I did smaller ones on the ends. Then what I did is I snapped a line or drew a line, and then I grabbed a couple of tools that I could use after I drill those holes to connect the holes to each other. What I did was, this is called a flush cut saw. See, it's got a tooth out of it, or a couple of teeth out of it. But the idea of a flush cut saw is, watch, see how flexible it is? So if I want to cut something off close to the wood, I can do this. But that's not the only use. It's a saw. And it has no set on the teeth. What that means is these are almost perfectly in line with the saw plate itself. But there's just a little bit of enough in there to actually make the cut, and a very nice cut. So I basically just took these. Hello, Tuck. My mascot Tuck is here, and he's going to need my attention for a moment or two. So he was just a puppy when we started doing this last year. He's a year old now, so he's still a puppy, but he's an 80-pound puppy now. Anyway, so what I did was I went ahead and connected those, and then with a chisel, I went ahead and chiseled out right back to the line that I had made so that it was really nice and crisp. And then I went inside here and on the outside as well and just did a little bit of a round over and used some sandpaper, make it real smooth. And that's how I created those and how I created these. Okay? So it was really very easy. So what's the next step? Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. Okay, well, the next step is assembly. But I'm going to do something that's going to seem a little counterintuitive. I'm going to go ahead and do finishing on the inside of these boxes. Now, the reason for that is it's just a lot easier for me. Because once I put the box together, because I'm going to glue it up with the bottom in it, the problem is it's going to be hard to get in the corners, hard to get a really good seal. You can't go back in and sand well to make sure the finish is good. Now, this is a cable management box. So they're going to toss cables in there and it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see it. So I'm not going to put a lot of effort into this, but I'm still going to put some effort into it because it gives me an opportunity, because I'm going to do the outside. If I'm running into any problems on the inside, which doesn't get seen much, I can know what I need to do to fix the ones on the outside. There's another benefit to going ahead and doing some finishing on the inside. When we glue it up, now I will be using hide glue to glue this up. And it's very easy to clean up because all you need is good warm water and it'll wipe right off. That's not true with your yellow glues, your white glues that we use today, what are called PVA glues. But I use hide glue for that reason, plus it holds up beautifully and it is reversible. But be that as it may. So I'm going to go ahead and put a finish on the inside, so I've gotten that taken care of and it's sealed. And as you've noticed here, you're going to see a lot of blue tape on all these parts. I haven't taped this one yet. I'm going to do that while we're talking. The reason I do that is because these are where my glue joints are going to be. As important as it is for a piece of furniture to be pretty, it's more important that it lasts. And what I'm doing here is I'm covering up the surfaces where I'm going to have a glue joint, which will keep it from having anything that obstructs the adhesion of the glue. So I don't want to do, I don't want any glue in these areas if I can avoid that. So it's not a huge deal, but it's a good practice to be in. So now I'm going to put some finish on it, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But now I have to choose what kind of finish am I going to use. Well, in this particular case, it's not going to be handled a lot, but I do want it to be pretty on the outside, so it doesn't have to be horribly durable. I could use something like shellac. This is shellac. It's just made from the lac bug, and it's very natural, and it's really easy. It dries really fast, so I could put on 6 coats of this in a matter of 3 hours. Oh, I'm sorry, about an hour. Problem is, it doesn't really build up any kind of protection, and I want a little bit of protection here. So I have other options. I could go with just a boiled linseed oil. This is a natural product. I could go with tung oil. Again, just a natural oil we could use. I could use just an oil and polyurethane top coat. This particular one by General Finishes is very good. I don't use as much oil as I used to. I still like to use it in some cases, but I really like to use water-based finishes. They're much better for the environment, and they're much better for my environment, which is the most important thing. But I do use it occasionally with all the proper precautions, filter mask, the whole 9 yards, just to make sure I'm extra safe. We could put a stain on it. I don't like to do stains. I don't mind doing them if the customer likes them, so don't misunderstand me. But I like wood to speak for itself, so I'm really a fan of a good clear finish. But this is an option as well. We could do a wipe-on poly. This is just basically a varnish, and it will, after a couple of coats, it will begin to build up a little bit of durability. My favorite finish that I use a lot is this General Finishes Endurovar, and it's water-based. It gives a really nice finish. It's really easy to use. It's almost you almost can't mess it up, and I have tried. So this is what I'm going to put on it after I get off camera. And so this will be the next step. So the next time you see it, this will all be assembled. Now, I'm going to use hide glue, and I just thought it might be fun to show you some hide glue. So walking across my very dirty shop, I've been pretty busy. But this is my glue pot, and you need to keep high glue around 100 to 145 degrees, which this does. And basically high glue, well here you know, there you can see it dripping. There you go. That's hide glue. And we make it, this is how it is when you start. That's how I buy it. 192 gram strength, and that's just how well it holds and how fast it tacks. But I just put some of this in cold water, wait till it turns into a gel, it takes about 10 minutes. Put it in the into the double boiler, what you'd use a lot of times. In this case, this one doesn't use water. And then you have to, see I got a nice film on top, that's where it's dried from being over here. I'm sorry, Tuck is getting on this. So anyway, I will tell you more about hide glue, but that's what I'll be using, and it really holds up well. So anyway, we'll be talking again really soon. And by the way, I've got one more thing I want to say before I go. Miss Holly and Miss Erin have shared with me some of the comments that you all have made that I could put on my website, the testimonials. And I just want to tell you all how touched I am. I just think the world of y'all, and I've really enjoyed teaching. I can't wait to get back. But you're really great kids, and you're going to have great futures in front of you. But thank you so much. It really touched me and made me enjoy what I'm doing even more, if that's possible. Anyway, we'll talk in the next video. The next time we do another episode of what? Deep Roots TV. Y'all take care. Bye.